Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Mr. Roland Youngberg, First United Methodist Church, my leading us in prayer, we all stand up.
Let's pray together. Oh, gracious and loving Lord, we thank you for this day that you've given us, and we thank you for the opportunity to be present at the City Council meeting tonight. Lord, we just pray that you bless this time together as decisions are made for the future of the city. Lord, we pray that you would bless each deliberation. Lord, we thank you and praise you for your presence with those that are suffering in the city of Moore. We just pray that you be with each of them tonight, and just be with all those that are giving aid and help in the midst of that process as well. Watch over that whole process. Lord, we offer that up to you, each of those persons that have been so burdened in the midst of this time. Just pray that you would draw them very close to your heart. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll start off a little bit different and deal with the public hearing notice that we have posted. And the purpose of the hearing is to discuss the possibility of the City of Clinton submitting a CDBG application to the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. Steve?
Council, basically, you'll see in your packet, but this is pertaining to the opportunity to apply for more CDBG grants, and this would be an effort for a capital improvement plan that we'd like to try to obtain and have done, and this requires a public hearing to do that.
Okay. Comments from the audience members, questions, comments, before I get to Bruce, to ask for public comments now? Here we go. Can you tell us what a capital improvement plan is?
Yeah, the council basically, this was one of these about 7 years ago. And it's a guide in infrastructure and capital purchase plan that help guide in the future. To help understand projects, infrastructure upgrades, it prioritizes it, it really looks at everything. We can get a grant for 100% to do this if we apply. This would sit down, allow us to really put some things in with a new council compared to last time this was completed, a new manager. I think it's fitting, and we've been talking a lot of things about water infrastructure and other items. This would be a good help and guide for us in the future.
So we can get this plan paid for if we follow the statute, and the statute requires us to have this.
Right, I mean, this is a application process, but we've met the criteria, and there's a few different items, and one of them is a public hearing to let the folks know if they have any questions or concerns about what we're trying to accomplish here.
I think it's a good plan, primarily because we have several infrastructure issues that we're working on right now, primarily water
Yeah.
being the main focus. Secondarily, we're developing an industrial tract, a housing addition, and it would not be hard to put these all into capital format. So I think it's a good plan, very city plan.
Yeah, get paid for it. Yeah, why not do it? All right, comments from the audience or any other councilman? Okay. Let's go ahead and open the regular meeting of the hospital, recreational, solid waste, industrial, and airport authorities. Now consider a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Trustee Hulen,
Yes.
Trustee Martinez,
Yes.
Trustee Lowry,
Yes.
Trustee Rodolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Action items A, consider additional budget questions or comments. Mrs. Gill.
Well, council, we appreciate your time and effort last Tuesday at our workshop regarding our next year's budget. Just wanted, if there's any additional questions, comments prior to bringing a budget to you and a public hearing and posting all that here in June, we want to make sure we got all your concerns and questions. So with these particular authorities, and you'll see it in the other authorities in the city council, just want any feedback or additional comments you may have regarding the 13-14 budget.
When do you plan on putting that on agenda first?
I plan on having the public hearing on the meeting of the 4th, and then approve it in the 2 weeks after that.
All right. Okay. Trustee reports, I guess, get another chance. Anybody has a comment up here? Seeing none. I guess I suppose that was probably your city manager's report. There you go. Audience participation regarding these particular authorities. Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn these particular authorities. So moved.
Second.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Huebler?
Yes.
Trustee Randolph?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Chair.
Yes, ma'am. On to the Public Works Authority agenda. Now opening up this portion of the meeting, consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Huebler?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Randolph?
Yes.
And Chair.
Yes. Here we go. Action item A, presentation and discussion regarding water and sewer rates. Mr. City Manager.
Well, council, in front of you, in the packet, we provided you a projection of a couple different scenarios. As you know, we're losing about $21,000 a month. That's the day average we've been losing over, and we're trying to basically try to meet a threshold around $250,000 in the water fund. You did ask for some potential, what sewer would do based on 60% of the cost. And we did a little scenario on that, and that was kind of difficult, but we wanted to kind of give you an idea. But basically, what we broke down for you, and I'll start that off by also saying that over the past few years, we have been building our sewer fund. From back in 2008, $72,000 in surplus, increasing all the way up to, starting July 1st of 2012, all the way up to $942,000, which ended up paying, which is going to pay for over $500,000 in capital improvements that are required by DEQ for our clarifiers. So that's why you built, and that's based on the surcharge cost that's in the ordinance. And I will say, in this ordinance, the surcharge, section down here on A, sewer charge of $2, that, the council has been approving that and increasing that with CPI each and every year. But the number is still $2 in the code book, so we're going to bring you back an ordinance no matter what, because you've been, the councils have always passed an increase and did not make an adjustment, which the ordinance, the code book shouldn't have a number to it. It should have referencing the council will add, it's their, they will set that charge as needed. So we'll bring that back to you. But, give an example of 5,000 gallons for the, and we will use it on Schedule E on the rate structure. If you look at the increase of Schedule E, water including sewer, the total for both those together would be $1.50. That's with a 56-cent increase in sewer and 94-cent increase in water. That is, fixed income folks and below that, and most of the time they're between 2,000 and 3,000, but for a 5,000 gallon user, $1.50 per month would be their increase. That can sewer and water both. A 56-cent sewer increase, 94-cent water increase. 9,000 gallons, which is to the average user in town. That's like my house. My family of 3, wife's always washing laundry. It would be a 23-cent increase in sewer, $2.46 increase in water, $2.69 a month increase. That's the average user in town. Now, folks like to use more, and a lot of this is irrigation. For folks who use 20,000 gallons, they would max out. They would max out to $25. There would be a percentage on them, but you'd see an $8.32 increase per month. Now that's the that's at 20,000 gallons. So then, as you know, then it begins to come back down, as you get into industrial and heavy commercial users. So, I mean, although I understand the one day decrease in the sewer, most folks max out. And those who don't will see a minimal increase. So we actually don't, with the needs and infrastructure concerns we have in the future, with water and sewer, we would actually recommend no sewer adjustment. That's our staff recommendation. But, you know, we've obviously thought E was a good plan. We want to make sure you had, obviously this last week, you had a chance to, I guess, observe this and digest these potential increases and wanted to get your take on what it would look like. But potentially, you know, if you dropped it, I mean, you know, if you had to drop sewer, you know, 10%, I mean, 10% of, you know, of 56 cents, I mean, you're talking, you know, just a couple pennies. That's all it would change. And, you know, so, and we're trying to increase our funds to cover our debt service, to cover our infrastructure growing costs, aging infrastructure, and the water rates and premium we pay for water, for FOSS, and the potential water we pay from the new plant. So, with that said, that's what's in front of you, and we're looking for a little feedback so we can bring you back an ordinance with some adjustments. And as we wrap up the budget, when the water revenues are put in there to cover our costs.
So the majority of the citizens then max out at 25, and become $5.
No, well, I mean, yeah, majority of citizens max out, but I mean, fixed income users will, I guess, that will see an increase of both together around about 50. You know, round average, you know, 9,000, 10,000 gallons be under $3 increase now. But you know, you start to get above, you know, which at 9,000 gallons you max out. I mean, so that's which you almost max out now, but you would definitely max out with an increase. And so to adjust it would, you know, would be, we wouldn't recommend it, and it wouldn't do much for the budget at all, nor save much at all.
But you're saying 9,000 gallons is only a $2.69 increase per month, even though it maxes out the sewer.
Maxes out sewer.
It's good to be able to invest in sewer in the future, especially if we decide that we want to do, if we decide that we want to do an RO plan. Is that right?
Well, I mean, absolutely. You know, you understand you have an aging infrastructure, but you've got water consumption costs that go up. In the past, and we did the research, and water was covering sewer. And I really think that as each entity is an enterprise fund, water should cover its costs, sewer should cover its costs of how that works. You know, you have an aging sewer facility. You know, we're seeing that required by DEQ to make, you know, we have $500,000 upgrades we have to make this year. So, I mean, those costs don't go away. I mean, they're going to be there. So you build a reserve for those projects. We have a water line, $500,000. We're using $500,000 from water to do, and another $500,000 from capital. You know, really water should pay for that entire line, but it didn't have enough. We've been eating away those reserves this year. But we're at a point now we have to adjust the Public Works Authority water and sewer funds to cover those losses. And we're looking for feedback.
Well, it appears that it maxes out at 9,000 gallons. You know, I kind of like what you said, E, because it doesn't affect people on fixed incomes and the lower users.
Yeah, then it gets us in the black.
Right.
Anybody else?
It's minimal. I mean, the cost of the water is, for the lower income families is $1.50, and then reducing the sewer portion of that is really not going to affect anything, I mean, substantially for them to see a decrease in the cost.
Sounds to me like we need the sewer fund to help you. We spend $500,000 to rebuild the clarifiers.
Who knows what DEQ is going to come up with next year.
Well, and again, you know the age of the facility. I mean, you know, there'll be continued needs. We have water and sewer lines around town we constantly are dealing with. I mean, it just, we just strongly believe that a healthy fund, nobody wants to raise rates, and we know it affects everybody, and that's not something we want to do, but something sometimes you have to do. And water is something at this point is serious, and we've got to cover the costs, and both these work together in the public works facility, and we would recommend some type of increase to cover our costs, and that's why we think E is a good, that really, again, we agree with Councilman Hewlin that minimal increase for fixed income folks and gradually increase, and then bringing the curve back down for heavy commercial and industry, that we want to try to keep the effect of them as minimal as possible as well.
I suggest you factor in E when you're doing your budget.
Second that.
That looks to me like the fairest.
What do we have to do to implement a rate change?
We'll bring you back an ordinance, and that ordinance you'll pass, and then that'll put that in effect at that point. Once the waiting period is over. And then we'll be able to implement that in our budgeting revenues, so have a balanced budget moving forward as well.
Anybody else? No, but that's,
We don't need any motions or anything?
No, we'll bring back we just wanted to have that feedback so that we can bring you back a document to approve at our future meetings. And I'll hope to have that to you by the June 4th meeting.
I think you told us this at the budget meeting, but what is the percentage of consumers that use this, that are over 20,000 gallons, that will see this $8.32 increase?
I didn't bring it with me, unless I can find it in my stack.
That's okay. That's okay. Our biggest users in the second category, the 9,000 is our biggest user.
Okay.
We know that for sure. Percentage of the second column. That's okay, Deborah. We can get
Okay,
that.
I
for you.
have lots of reports here. I'll look through it, and if I find it, I will let you know. So I've got several reports I ran based on consumption breakdowns.
Are we gonna have to increase the rates again once we get the water line new and all that?
Yeah, that's
taken care of? I mean, is that gonna be another increase to the community, or do you think this increase will cover that?
Well, that's a great question, Councilwoman, and I think, I don't know. Initially, the numbers that were brought to the council, you saw those, they were in line with FOSS numbers. So that would, if that stays the course, then we would not need an increase. If the numbers were a little higher, then there could be a potential, we'll have to look at that. I don't know those numbers, and I will say this, you won't know those numbers for probably closer to 6 months or a year, until all the construction is completed, and the thing is operating. So I will tell you, at least for this year, I think we're gonna be at these rates. You can get a new rates you adopt.
But what you need, I personally think we will not have to raise rates predicated on the fact that we've been paying costs an extra $60,000 a month. We're paying them $800,000. Hopefully, what we're getting from Canoe will not cost us any more than over we've been paying costs, is what my hope is. Based on the preliminary numbers that Canoe gave us, we would not have to raise. Correct. Isn't that correct, Steve?
That's correct.
But if the cost of the plant would go higher, yes, but we've got to have more than one source of supply.
yes.
We've got to have.
I agree.
Mayor, Councilman Hewlin, I did find the report that I ran, and I wrote this down for every 2,000 gallon usage range. We have approximately 900 to 1,000 that use under 2,000 gallons, about 1,000 that use in the 2,000 to 4,000 range. And then the 4,000 to 10,000 range is about 1,800 customers, up to 10,000. Okay. The 4,000 to 10,000 range. 11,000 to 14,000 is 171 customers. And 14,000. Up to 50,000, 243 customers.
Not very many.
Anything over that 50,000 and up is small number of people, but use pretty good volumes, or they're commercial accounts. So really, the majority of our people are in that below 10,000. Like I said, over half of our almost half of our customers are below 4,000.
Council, I will say this though, if you recall back when we met last year, we were talking about potential adjustments. The upper 10% is using 90% of the water for the residential area. So the 14, the upper, the 10 to 14 range, they're using 90% of the residential water. So I just wanted to be aware of that.
So you can rationalize it, have an increase in it. Okay, anything else?
I've got good information, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Action item B, consider additional budget questions or comments. None?
Any additional questions, whereas water rates we got covered, anything else in public works, or just like some feedback?
Okay, seeing none. Action item C, request authorization to purchase a vacuum excavator. Mr. Wood.
I want to refer to Public Works Director Stephen Jones. This is a capital item that is in our budget. I would like to purchase off the state contract. Want to tell them what exactly this will be used for?
We'll use this to put in new water and sewer lines. It'll help cut down on chances of cutting through fiber optic cable or puncturing a gas line. It'll also be useful when it comes to marking lines for other companies when they need to do boring and things like that. We got $50,000 set aside for this. And, the two quotes that we got under state contract, one was $35,431, and the one that we're recommending is $39,448.60.
Are you sure it's big enough for what you need? It says mini on there, and of course I don't know much about them, but I wondered if this was more of a compact.
Yeah, this is what Terrago uses. He recommended this one.
All right, anything else up here? Question? So I suppose that, I don't think about these things. Consider a motion to go ahead and give staff authorization to purchase the vacuum excavator of their choosing.
Well, Council, we prefer the state contract, the 305 DT, $39,448 recommendation.
I'll make a motion that we give staff the approval we authorize staff to purchase a vacuum excavator of their choosing. Second.
Trustee Human,
Yes.
trustee Randolph,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Trustee reports regarding this particular authority, Public Works Authority. Seeing none, city manager's report, water restriction update, Steve.
Council, you passed an ordinance last year, 935A. Restrictions go in place June 1st. Want to remind you of that, which will create even and odd watering on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. For 2-hour irrigation watering. You can hand water daily, but we're limiting restrictions on irrigation systems. This gave us the opportunity last year to get through the hot season. If Mother Nature is more normal, like she's starting to be, then we won't have a lot of issues, but we do need to cut back not because there's not water available at Foss, just because they can only produce so much per day, and that's the issue. So this, and usage is growing daily as the heat has heated up. The last 2 weeks, we've always seen an increase, so that's why we knew June 1st would be, and this will go on until October 1st. And this is just a reminder, and so I wanted you to be aware of it, and we appreciate the media does a great job of letting people know, and it's in our water bills, and we'll continue to remind people all summer long. We do a great job. Last year, our staff, police, fire, public works are constantly reminding people, letting them know that, when you see a water in there, we're calling them, letting them know, hey, turn that off, we're in the restriction period now, so we'll continue to do that. So,
When you send the water bill out this month, I put it red, here's one time.
I should, I just don't want to spend how much it costs for each copy. It's real expensive, so. Trying to cut down on those costs, Don, so.
Are these the same restrictions as last year?
Yes, exactly the same, no difference. So just keep you aware of that, so. And then I would also let you know, we continue to meet with FOSS, and FOSS engineers will be here next meeting, June 4th, to walk you through the potential upgrades and repairs they need to do at FOSS. And, I've seen the presentation. I think it's important that they get in front of the governing body of Clinton. You are the 48% owner of that facility, and to walk you through it so you can ask questions and be prepared to understand what effects that could, eventually do to our community in the future. I think it'd be a good opportunity. Also, they know I continue to work with Canute, and we're getting much more involved with them, and we'll be meeting with them this weekend, next week, and get kind of updates on where they're standing on their facility. I know currently right now they're working with DEQ. They're going through plans for upgrading from their smaller size they were going to build to the larger that will handle the city of Clinton's needs. So I'll continue to keep you briefed on that, and I'll know more by our next meeting. So just want to let you know that continues. So as anything changes, we'll let you know. But now things are progressing, and we'll continue to monitor things. So that's what I'll do.
Good stuff. Audience participation regarding this particular authority?
Are we any closer to getting sewer to our two new businesses by the cemetery?
It should happen next week. Terry had a couple of things, told you to do. One was out of FOSS, and then he said he should get to us this next week.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The water situation in Lincoln Edition down there is not stable. There's 3 fire hydrants that's not operable. One sits in the front of my house. A bush has been in front of it for the last, I've been there 18 years. Nobody even go by and open it up. But the other one that was on the church property that got knocked over was closed off, and when that house caught fire, they had no place to get water from. And then there's one that sits across from on Court Street, that the water is coming up out of the ground and it's just a hose that's running. Then there's one on Locust Street that they've got the hydrant filtering, I guess, to run clear water. But all along Linsford Road, that water is brown, totally brown.
Yes.
Okay. I'd ask, Stephen, could you get with her after the meeting and get that information, to get more details of the hydrants are at? As for the high iron, which is causing the brown and red water, part of our next budget, we're doing the crystallization project, trying to work in those areas to try to eliminate some of that. Some of the leakage she's talking about is we put some flushers on those hydrants to try to flush out some of that periodically, to clean that water, that high iron out. So, but I would like to have Stephen get with you and get those details on hydrants, because I'm not aware of those issues, and anything else, let him know so we can look into that.
Okay, and then we had, like, at our church, we had a discussion about the rates of each housing down there. Some people's water their grass all the time. Their water is $45. And they water their grass. Their grass is nice and pretty. People that don't water their grass, their bills are $100, $95. I mean, it's outrageous. Me, myself, I lived there for 18 years. The highest water bill I got was $100, and every other month it's $65 or it's $100. And Is other people is paying real high rates too. I don't know what cost effective it is to saying that some houses got 2 people in it, they're not washing, and they're not hanging out clothes. Some of them go to the laundromat to take their, laundry to the laundromat. So their bills are running like 65, 70, you know, it's outrageous. Is that a typo error, or somebody's not reading the meters right? I seen that, everybody's supposed to got new meters put in, set in, but sometimes you go there and the grass is grown over the meter. Who's looking at the meter? I mean, I'm just asking, that's observation.
Good questions. Those are things Stephen can look into as well as finance can look at the water meters to find out. We can do a check and take a look at those things. So we'll do that. We'll take a look at that, find out why there might be some irregular readings or why there be some changes. I don't know. But we'll look into that. I appreciate you bringing that up.
And this is my first time coming to, city council meeting now. I think I'll be coming back.
All right, we're trying to fix the ground. Okay. Any other audience participation? Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn the Public Works Authority.
So moved. I'll second it.
Yeah.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Urban renewal agenda.
Okay, council, you're
Yeah,
probably,
what this is.
yeah, let me tell you what this is. This was an authority that was created back in 2006. And this was to do with the Roush facility, Roush Center, Army Reserve facility. Here's what, okay, this has been, I've been dealing with this for 2.5 years, waiting, getting information. I've been dealing with a lot of different Corps of Engineers and Army folks and trying to find out if we can get this facility. The agreement was, or a report was done, that the Urban Renewal Authority appointed a committee to review this Roush facility and the needs of what this could, or potential things it could provide to the community. And that was the Local Redevelopment Authority, which is part of the Urban Renewal Authority. This report was sent to the Army, and they finally approved it, and they went through appraisals and paperwork and all kinds of things. We got to the very end, and I was told we were very close to getting this. Basically, it'd be a pass-through. The city would take it, with the understanding that the school would offer programs and stuff, higher learning, adult education, as well as other things they need to use it for. We found out, though, the appraisal, the 5th appraisal, I was told, 4th or 5th, they came in $300,000. I contacted the school superintendent. He obviously didn't think that was a very fair price, nor did I. And then I began talking to another Army official who told me, well, actually, there's a better way of doing this. If you'll go through this other particular procedure, you can get this, assist the school, and the school could work with the Department of Education, and they could get this at no cost. So in the process, I received a lot of information today, additional. We've reached out to our senator and representative at the U.S. and the federal level and said, hey, this isn't working. Well, what's going on here? You have this facility that's now been vacant for a number of years, and this process has taken quite a long time. And they're looking into it now for us as well. And the recommendation was this. Now, for the school to go through the new process, the Urban Renewal Authority acting as the Local Redevelopment Authority would basically remove yourselves from negotiated sale from the government. And so you pull yourself out of that. And that way the school could then work with the government directly. We may have to assist them, but you would take the city out of that. And I think that would be a good thing. But if that may take another year or two, but if we could still get it for the $45,000, $50,000, the school is still willing to do that. So what I'm asking tonight, basically, is that if we're not able to go this route and the school would like to continue purchasing it through the city, if we're able to obtain it, then we can do that. But if they'd like not to do that and go directly to the Department of Education, then I would ask you to make a motion that you remove yourselves from the negotiated sale with the government, but give me the authorization that if the school would like to go back and do the negotiated sale portion, that we would do that. That's a mouthful, I apologize.
No, we got it. I remember it.
But this is very cumbersome and it's been a long process, and I've had to catch myself up on it. But basically, if you'll give me the authority to, pull yourselves out of it if we need to, or if we need to stay in it to help the school, it's all going to the school in the end. It's just, it's a flow-through conduit for us to help them or not, and that's basically, but this action is going to be needed if we pull out of it. You'll have to have this action. If you do this action tonight, pending what staff recommends, I can bring back what we did and let you know so the school can move forward on this. And I hope maybe we can resolve it eventually.
Is that your recommendation?
Yes. I don't want to have to do it again, so.
I'll make a motion. You want?
No, go ahead.
I make a motion that we authorize Steve, if he can, work with the school on acquiring the property, $40,000 or $50,000 and be a conduit for the school to go ahead and do it. However, if it doesn't appear that it's going to work that way, that we authorize, my motion would include disbanding this school and taking it or anyway.
All righty.
I'll second.
Second one.
Trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Hewland,
Yes.
and chairman.
Yes. Hey, do we need to approve the consent agenda from August 1, 2006?
Yes, you actually did.
Consider a motion to approve the consent agenda from August 1, 2006.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda of 2006.
Second.
Trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Hewland,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
and chairman.
Yes. Trustee reports, I'm assuming there are none. Nobody even knows what this trust is. Audience participation regarding this particular authority. Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn the Urban Renewal Authority.
So moved.
Second?
Trustee Hewland,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
and chairman.
Yes. On to the regular meeting of the Clinton City Council. Consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Hewland,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rudolph,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Action item A. Here we go. Clinton High School reunion proclamation. If it's all right, all the councilors going to read it. Okay, whereas it is fitting and proper to take official notice of special events that occur from time to time in order that all have the opportunity to share in their significance and recognition. Whereas such an event shall occur on May 24th and 25th, 2013, and whereas the Clinton High School All-School Reunion will be held in downtown Clinton, Oklahoma, with the theme Main Street, Clinton, Oklahoma. Whereas graduates, teachers, and administrators will be meeting together to celebrate their years at Clinton High School, I therefore, as Mayor of Clinton, Oklahoma, declare May 24th and 25th, 2013 as Clinton High School All-School Reunion Weekend. By the power vested in me as Mayor of the City of Clinton, Oklahoma, I authorize this special proclamation. All right. We'll go on. Action item B, consider bids on various city-owned properties. Okay. Steve, yes, sir?
Yeah, council, I just need to, Broadway Heights, which is the old water tower, we want to remove that from sale. Well, it brought to my attention today that there are some infrastructure items on there that we need to not sell that because they affect our distribution system, so we've actually taken that out. And we will not be looking to sell that, because we need to hold on to that property.
Which one is it? You said?
Number 6, Broadway Heights, lots 41 through 46.
Is there a motion we need to move that?
No, just don't open any of their bids, and we'll just, we won't.
Broadway
That good
Heights.
enough?
Sure.
That'll open it, okay.
first one, but we'll have 414 done.
All right, 414 done.
Yes.
We've got two bids up here, so if you're in here, here we go. All right. First bid is from Diversio Calixto. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right. Going to bid for 414 Dunn Avenue, $500. Okay. Phone number, I won't read that off. It's Gerald, sometimes has a habit of printing a lot of stuff that we really need to know. All right. Second bid on 414 Dunn. And there's a check in here. Actually, is a check in here. Okay, this is from Mr. Arnold Adams, and this is for $250. So I think if I'm correct, Mr. Arnold Adams? Yes, sir. So if I'm correct,
You can ask him what's the deal with the 500.
you got an opportunity now to bid over the 500.
600.
600. Hey, do we have 700? 700. 800?
Wait.
Oh.
Okay, so it's 700.
700. Oh, wait a second. No, yeah, 800, Mr. Ad. Yeah, Mr. Adams, 800. Yes, sir, 900. Do we have 9? 8.5? 825. 825. We got 825? 9. All right, Arnold Adams for $900. I'm stopping it there.
You can take that.
Congratulations. Yeah, right. Okay, my auction fee, $250. All right, number 2, northeast corner of 4th and Orient. All right, 4 bids. Jason Jones Plumbing. All right. Jason Jones Plumbing, $4,000. Jason, are you in here? Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up? Okay, $4,000 from Jason. The second bid, yeah, 4,000. Yeah, I know. Check in here also, Mr. Arnold Adams, for the same amount, $250. We have $5,000. Oh, wait a second, I gotta open the other ones up. Wait a second. I didn't think of that one, man. Third bid is from Gerardo Perez for $500. Mr. Perez, are you here? Fourth bid is from Double K Auto. $3,000. All right, so we have $4,000 bid, either Mr. Kreisenbeck, Mr. or Mrs. Kreisenbeck, or Mr. Adams. Are you willing to go with $4,000?
Jason Jones.
Jason's at 4, yeah, but somebody's gonna come over the top of 4. So we have 2 people who have it up.
Perez or Double K?
What? Perez already told me no. Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do 45.
What?
45.
4,500, Jason?
46.
46. 5.
5 by proxy?
5,100.
55.
56.
6.
I'm done.
$6,000 that we pay out of.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm giving, your check. All right.
We'll find out. That's what I said. These both of them, I'll write it down.
All right, number 3, 224 South, Second, and 209 Hayes.
No bids.
No bids. Number 4, 1215 Hayes,
What?
1 bid. Roy E. Morrison. Are you here, Mr. Morrison? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. $100, and it sounds like you won. Congratulations. Number 5, 611 South 7th,
2.
2 bids. Here we go again. Roy Blackketter is the first, Mr. Blackketter? Yes, sir. Mr. Blackketter, $1,001. Second bid is from Mr. Kinsley. No, not Nisley. How much is it? Nisley, I'm sorry about that. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. $500, Mr. Nisley. Are you willing to beat $1,001 for Mr. Blackketter?
1,100.
1,100. Mr. Blackketter, do we have?
Gotta go 1150. 12. Okay.
$13 going once.
14.
14.
15. 11 half.
Let him have it. $1,500 for Mr. Blackketter. All right. Making some money there.
And we went through number 6,
Number 6 is out.
and there were no bids on 7 or 8.
All right.
And number 9,
1 bid, 103 East Court. All right. $500 to Miss Norma Jean Vincent, who has fantastic handwriting. Are you? Yes, ma'am. $500, it's yours. All right. What?
Now you approve these.
Okay.
One motion now.
Hope everybody's paying attention. Now consider a motion to approve all of the sales that we just had. High bid. Yes, sir. Consider a motion to approve the high bid sales.
I make a motion to approve the high bid sales of these surplus properties.
I second that motion.
Councilman Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Newman,
Yes.
Councilman Rodolph,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. All right. Action item C. Consider resolution 814 regarding 2013 CDBG GOC. Yes, sir.
Council, next 4 items have to do with this community block capital improvement planning grant going forward. This first resolution basically states that you understand that you are the governing body and you authorize or empower to accept federal funds. So that's the first resolution. Understanding this is a capital improvement planning community development block grant.
Authorize it to accept government funds, all right. Yes, sir. Consider a motion to approve this resolution. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion, we,
Pass.
yeah, we adopt resolution 814.
Councilman Hewlin,
Yes.
Councilman Rodolph,
Yep.
Councilman Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Consider resolution 815 regarding the same thing, however, fair housing is included.
Yeah, and council, again, you pass these same resolutions during our water line CDBG thing. This, again, this is based on fair housing, understanding no discrimination in how we sell, rent, lease, or how if we deal with any of those things as part of the Fair Housing Amendment Act of 1988.
I move that we approve.
Resolution.
I'll second that.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item E, consider 2013 CDBG GOCIP residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plans.
Council, again, this, we passed it before, but this basically is saying if this particular project would displace folks, that we would find a relocation plan for them. However, we don't anticipate anybody needing to be relocated during this planning, capital improvement plan.
Okay. Consider a motion to adopt this anti-displacement plan.
I'll make a motion, we adopt this residential anti-displacement relocation assistance plan. A second.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item F, consider resolution 816, establishing the 2013 CDBG GOCIP local planning activities committee. Steve?
You are required in this grant to appoint a committee that will oversee a lot of the initial early work, putting this plan together. And then they'll bring it back to the city council for final approval. We felt this was a perfect project for our new appointed economic development committee, and those names are listed. The mayor, myself, Councilman Hewlin, chamber president, chamber board chairman, and chamber member Jason Smith. So we would recommend those 6 folks. Would be a great team to lead us in this 5-year plan and bring back for your final adoption.
Move we adopt resolution 816.
I'll second that.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry? Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Consider resolution 817 regarding Chapel Road project of ODOT.
Okay, council, I mentioned to you in our budget session, we finally have a date for bid. We're going to be opening bids on September 19th. ODOT will be taking over that. This is the agreement, understanding money, the situation, basically how it deals with right-of-way. It's standard agreement through ODOT. You've done in the past. This is our latest project with them. So we're excited to get this project off the ground. This will, these couple of items here will wrap up this so you understand the funding as well as the understanding how they will do the project and the right-of-way issues. And we recommend you approve it so we can get it sent off to ODOT so they can continue the bidding process.
When will we open that open bid?
September 19th, and then the Transportation Commission is scheduled to act on those bids October 7th. So final plans, specifications, estimates, these documents, all this information is due back by June 18th.
Which is great.
Very
Very
important.
important.
I move we adopt this right away agreement and resolution 817 regarding Chapel Road.
I'll second.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Consider action item H, consider maintenance, financing, and right-of-way agreement with ODOT. Steve?
Council, I want you to understand, you know what the budget is. Our funding from our funds is minimum. Phase 1 will be the $448,725. You also can see that there's alternates 1 and 2, and if you would do both those alternates, what those are potentially estimated to cost right now. I always hope that we do pricing and that comes down, so we do more of the potential road, but that is where we're at today. And you understand that, you approve that, and then about 1 week prior to the opening of the bid, we will have a check off to ODOT for our minimum portion, and then we'll see what the bids come in at.
Very important again. Do we get a vote here? Thank you,
Yes.
Lance. Yes, we do.
Move to approve this agreement with ODOT on Chapman Cliff.
I'll second.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item I, additional budget questions or comments? Anybody? Council reports? Anybody? City manager's report, do you have anything like that?
I do have a couple of things.
Okay.
Council. Unfortunately, it's somewhat of a somber week, as you know, the tragedy that took place yesterday in Warren, as well as the day before that in the Shawnee area. We sent folks, fire and police, yesterday to assist. We will send more if needed and requested, including Public Works. I have briefly spoken with the city manager, so if they need assistance, we will do our part. So with that, I promoted Chief Crabtree to our emergency manager, public safety director this last year. And we currently are required to follow, the county is required to have an emergency operational plan, and we follow that. That is really broad. Make sure we have that, so we get funding from FEMA if there's a disaster. I wanted you to be aware, though, that I have tasked him, which he has been working on, and we'll wrap it up in the next couple of months, an EOP directly affecting and specific to the city of Clinton. That will talk about departments, the governing body, what we do, how we react, where resources are at, what departments do, and he will bring that back, and he will review that with you here in a couple of months. SWOTA is helping us put that together as well. Basically, we put the information together, and then we give it to them, and they can bind it in a nice book so we can have it, and it'll be on our website, it'll be available for the public, and we will have a solid, good emergency plan directly for our city, for our staff, and for the council to understand in case of any type of emergency disaster, we are prepared. I feel we're prepared right now anyway, but this document is another good living document to allow us to be prepared for anything in the future. So I want you to be aware of that. So we'll continue to monitor any assistance we can offer more anybody else as well. So just so you know, and if you have questions regarding any disaster, unfortunately I've been through that. It's no fun, but Oklahoma's a great state. A lot of people are helping more right now in Shawnee and those folks. So, and then last, I give an update. I didn't have this update Tuesday, and I found out Wednesday morning. We've got plans in for the hotel at Mr. Modi and they've been approved. And we're sitting down meeting with him regarding the infrastructure he needs, but he has it beginning in a couple of weeks, his dirt work, and so that is going forward. So just wanted to let you know. Obviously, that will be a great assistance to the TIP district as well as the city itself. So that's all I have, and I will let you know that I will have our staff look into some of these issues and in a lengthy edition, and we'll do that. So that's all I have.
All right. Audience participation? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question on mandatory water rationing.
Yes, ma'am.
What has to take place in order for it to end?
Right.
Well, they have a lot of things.
Yes.
Basically, I mean, I think we'll see a lot of, once the Canoe water line is in place, and we get back to a normal weather cycle, we may be able to do voluntary rationing rather than full-blown restrictions. But even if we had any restrictions, they'd be very, very minimal. But that would be the first step. It's a quick relief, and I say quick, I mean, we're still a year away probably, but that's a much more, a quicker relief for that. Wouldn't be the future. I think obviously we're talking about a water plan in the future, and I'll also let the council know, and I appreciate her bringing this up. The second meeting in June, our engineers are here to give us a report on our water plant costs, put that together, so that's the next step. I think the final step for never have to worry about water is our own plant, having multiple sources, Clinton Lake replenishing itself. There's a lot of things, you know, it's a multitude of things, but Canute's the first relief, I think, will help a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am? Yeah.
What's stopping us now from going ahead and getting our own plant? That's the big picture, in my eyes. That's my opinion at least. And you just mentioned that would, should we take us away from rationing, is if we built our own plant, why don't we do that now versus doing the Canute thing? I'm not really sure since, you know, kind of leaving the
Well,
council.
yeah.
So I'm just kind of curious, to be honest with you.
I think obviously Canute, it creates a quicker relief. I think you want to have a very broad portfolio. I don't want to talk you into anything. That's just what we've talked about from early on. I think you can move forward on a plant. I think we'll get numbers, we can create a funding mechanism, and we'll look at this and finance it and talk about that. But until you have the report, you can't really move forward. And that's gonna take, it's gonna take longer time than Canute will take. You know, now how long? I mean, we saw initially 5 to 7 years. It's not gonna take that long. I think we've seen some support, with DEQ to be very flexible, understanding there's a need out here. But again, things just take, it would take 3 to 4 years no matter what.
And the engineers are
To do that.
There'll be a second meeting in June to provide a report. I think once you see that report, you can then decide if you want to move forward on a plant. And I know some of you talked to me about that, and I think that's a quality idea. I think you need to see the price. And you talk about funding it and how that affects everything, and then timing, and I think if you continue working, you need to talk to Foss and what their upgrades look like, and continue waiting to see what, but you can continue on that motion.
So are we, at this point, are we forced to go with the Canute deal? Or, I know we passed a memorandum of agreement at one of the prior council meetings, but I mean, does that lock us in with Canute? Or, I mean, can we still back out of that?
I would refer you to our city attorney.
No,
Okay.
we can't back out of
There you go.
Okay.
Well, they
One
come to
thing
us.
you've got to look at, Lewis, we have a letter from our engineers that said it's gonna take 6 or 7 years to put it on a plant. We can't wait 6 or 7 years. We look at the Canute situation because we had the understanding from Canute that we'd have water in a year to a year and a half. And we cannot exist on one source of water much more than a year and a half.
All right. And I agree with that. I'm just curious.
I will tell you that I think our own plant is definitely something we want to continue to pursue as a long-term solution. And I mean beyond 50-year solution to this community. I think, but we don't have that information on cost and timing yet in front of us. When you get that, you'll be able to make a good decision as a council to decide if you want to start that process in motion, while the other processes are also in motion.
I think the ultimate objective is to put our own plant in, but we can't really make that decision until we see what the engineer says is going to
Carry on.
I think the next 4 or 5
One of the other reasons why I'm asking is, you know, I'm talking to some of the people in my ward, and we, for the most part, the people that I've talked to, think that it's kind of outrageous or crazy, I guess, that we're gonna pay for 90% of the Canute plant and we're not gonna own any of it.
Do you want to own it?
Or I'm just,
we don't want to own it.
I'm just saying, I mean, we're paying for 90% of a plant, why don't we pay for 100% of our own plant? That's, and I don't know, like I said, I'm kind of, new to all of this is why I'm asking these questions, so.
I think ultimately our objective should be to try to find a way financially for us to build our own plan. Short-term and even long-term, new is hopefully going to be a viable source for us in the long term and the short term. But looking beyond that 40 years, 30-year period, I think it's very responsible for us as council people now to do something on our own as well. And I know there are a lot of other factors we've talked about, these other factors that are involved, that, but let us not lose sight of the fact, I think a Clinton plan is going to be very good for our long-term stability and sustainability as well.
I totally agree.
A meeting will be interesting in June.
We need to see what, I'm anxious to see the engineering.
Yeah, that'd be good stuff.
Good question.
There was an-
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Yes, I was wondering, who do we get in contact with to see if our sellers are registered with the city?
You know what my office is? No, I'm playing.
Ma'am, if you'll just contact the water office and inform them of your address and that you have a shelter, then they will forward that to our public safety offices, fire and police, so that you are on our list, so that if anything would happen, we would know. That's all you have to do.
I believe we actually have a form in the utility office that they can fill out, and we'll get that to the police
Steve?
department.
I do have a database that we have on record, that we can also check on. We have a hard copy in the office, and we also have a database backup, so. But it still would be a good idea for you to fill out the
Well,
database.
this is some property that we bought, so I didn't know if it had been registered because it's been on the books a long time, so I didn't know.
Doesn't hurt to have it on their place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in there on it. We do have a database of listed,
Of all those that have been reported to us, we do have a database, yes.
probably wouldn't hurt maybe sometime, send that on the water bill, get people to.
Well, and we can put that form, I'm sure Jean can put that form on the website for us, so people could fill it out on there and.
Put it in the water bill.
We don't have a computer, and some people don't have a computer.
We have a form up front, we'll get it.
If you just give us a call, they can help you.
And we encourage everybody to do that, or double check and make sure they're on.
We strongly, recommend everybody be weather ready. I want to make it very clear, and I mentioned this to Gerald today when we talked to them. We do not have a public shelter that's rated, and we recommend anybody go to. So those things are important, know where your neighbors and where shelters are at, and because, people have asked me, would the Frisco Center be a good place for us to go? That would not be a safe place to go in a storm. And so it would not be, so we don't recommend that. Now, our facilities, we will utilize our facilities if there was a disaster for different reasons, but it's not a storm shelter. So we do not have a public storm shelter. I want everybody to be aware of that.
Any other audience participation? Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion we adjourn to the Clinton City Council.
I'll second.
Councilman Stevens?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?